this is a story of Turkey. This story was told to me by my grandmother. It was probably told to her by her grandmother, and her grandmother, and her grandmother. This story of Turkey tells us how he was painted, and how he painted all the birds in the world. You see, a long time ago, before the humans walked and ruled this earth, the birds and the animals stood upright and they talked, just like you and I. And there was one fellow, Turkey, or Raven as we know him, who decided one day that he would gather all of his friends, all of his bird friends, and he would paint them. Because, see, in those days, birds didn't have any color at all. So he gathered them all down at the river, lined them up, and painted.
Blackbird, you're always talking in rhymes. Blackbird, you're always flying too high.
Well, he lined them up, one by one, and he mixed paint from the ochre, from the moss, and the minerals, and he colored them so beautifully. All the colors in the world he painted. They were so happy. As he got to the end, he realized that he was the only bird that didn't have any color. And he wasn't very happy about that. So he decided that he'd paint himself. Well, he started to mix the paint. And he painted himself one way, and then another way. Then he painted himself again, and again, and again. He was just not satisfied, you see. He could not be satisfied with himself. And he made all of the birds stay and wait. And days go by, and they grew very impatient with him. So they decided to play a trick on the trickster. Turned because he was looking at his reflection in the river. All of the birds got together and they mixed all of the paint into one big pot. And they said, "Hey, Turkey, come over here. We have an idea. We're going to paint you. We're going to paint you so beautifully." And so he stood and he said, "Okay then, we'll do it." They did, but they dumped a big pot over his head. And he squawked and he squawked and he screeched. And he ran to the river to look at himself. And when he got there, he saw his reflection. And staring back at him was the blackest of birds. And try as he might, he just could not wash that color off. The harder he scrubbed, the deeper it sunk. And he was so angry.
Blackbird, you get what you ask for. Blackbird, you're not so pretty anymore. Flying too high.
sun came out. The light shone down, reflected off of his feathers, and he could see every single color shining back at him. So maybe that turkey, that trickster, got the last laugh after all.